So every once in a while, we come across a story on the internet where ponies decide that they just want to be completely and utterly stupid. They want to come out with some of the dumbest takes. They want to come out by saying something absolutely moronically dumb. And then they wonder why people mock them or take the piss out of them, and then they get offended. But the reality is, if you're going to come out like Colin has here and try to mock a complete creative community, not just gaming, because what he says actually goes out to the wide creative community, from, you know, artists to anything, right? Music creators, you name it. It goes out to everyone. And he basically has, let's just listen to what he's saying, right? Let's listen to what he's saying.
I think it would be a really great idea to get as many of those games as a services on as many that PlayStation's making on as many platforms as possible, because it's the best path to salvation.
See, that part I agree with. This is what I said in my previous video with the L-Forge, and at the end when I said that, you know, Concord and Helldivers should be on as many platforms as possible. You want, like, you know, multiplayer games and live service games to be on as many platforms as possible because they live by their player count. It's that simple.
For their success.
Yeah.
But these kinds of people are the kinds of people that like make sizzle reels for Xbox, like, and don't get paid for it. They make art, like key art of the studios. One person, remember, made a reel of Redfall footage. And before it came out, it was like, look how good it is. It's like, dude, could you imagine Sacred Symbols ever doing something like that? Making key art and fucking sizzle reels and making compilations to make games look good. It's comical clown shit, and that's the stuff that sets the predicate for the way people talk about games in a lot of spaces. And it's those people that poisoned everyone into thinking that something like Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation is the end of all things. Period. I think it would be a...
And yet not once has this guy, I think his name is Colin, come out and said that by name. Now, at the beginning of the video, he said that, you know, multiplayer games should go to as many platforms as possible. And he was referring to Sea of Thieves, but he would never say that in reference to Helldivers or to Foam Stars or to any other game like Concord coming to PlayStation. He just won't say it. He won't, because he's happy for that game to be with a limited confined space on PlayStation, because he is a pony. But the point that I'm getting here that is completely and utterly unacceptable, it blows my mind, it truly does, is the fact that people creating compilation videos or, you know, art for a project. I mean, he's saying that, you know, people are creating these key arts with like studios and stuff that go for no money. So you're telling me that those people out there that do fan art for Dragon Ball Z or Honkai Star Rail or Sonic the Hedgehog, Halo, Hellblade, you know, whatever, right? Anything you want out there, more than likely has some form of art, even if it's one picture out there. And these people are not getting paid for it. He is saying that these people are stupid and idiotic, and basically saying that if you create art without getting paid, you are a moron and a sad fuck. Now, as you can see here, Gaz says, what's wrong with key art and sizzle reels? Some people like to flex their creative muscles as opposed to simply turning on a camera and farting on screen. Pretty much what I'm doing right now. And you can see here, he makes it sound like Sony is paying him to sit there week in, week out to talk about things. He's sitting there for free, creating, and what he's doing could still be referred to art because it's still capturing an audience and keeping them engaged. How is what he is doing any different to what he is complaining about? Sounds like a hypocrite to me. And I even went as far as saying, but doing fan art or sizzle reels, like Septic Source says, is all in good faith. You know, my kid used to love at one point drawing Pokemon and posting it online. He wasn't getting paid for it. He wasn't getting anything from it. He just enjoyed creating art and sharing it online. Is he a sad fuck as well? Is that what he is? Is this what he's trying to say, that my kid is a sad arsehole? Like, where does he draw the line when it comes to this sort of thing? Because it's a very broad topic that Colin said? What about the tons of people creating fan art for games or anime they like? This, what Colin said, is a direct insult to the whole creative industry. It is such a stupid take. And, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. I agree, and even worse than that fact is, besides being biased, the guy is a Persuado intellect games media personality, can't see both sides, and has to resort to labeling people instead of actually understand the issues he talks about. He has no clue what he's saying, and then they decide, all three of them, to circle jerk each other around the table and start going, yeah man, we are right, we wouldn't do that, here are sacred symbols, we jerk off to everything. I don't know, man. It's such a weird take. It's insulting. It's absolutely insulting what he said here. And, you know, I really hope that he gets some blowback from it. I really hope that he gets some form of, you know, a negative push from different places so he can come out and publicly apologize. Because this, what he said here about key art and sizzle reels and just art in general, this doesn't affect just video games. People do this for everything. And he's going to come out and say that it is sad to do this because you're not getting paid. Is Sony paying him to do this? I know he's getting money from YouTube, but is Sony paying him to do this? If not, so like he's sitting there all like thinking he's like the next fucking hotshot to come out. And the person that he was referring to that he didn't want to drop the name for was Colt Eastwood. Colt Eastwood made a reel when IGN made a bad footage of Redfall. The version that they played over at, you know, the studio at Arcane was actually a much better version of the build, apparently. But he decided to make a reel of the game for Redfall where it actually, you know, showed how good Redfall actually was based on the build that they played. God knows what happened between that build and what they got later on, but that's what he's referring to. So he's actually not even, you know, giving Colt the, you know, the decency of respect to even name him. You know, he was too scared to even name drop, but he's out here criticizing every single creative artist by saying that what you're doing is weird, it's sad, and, you know, because you're not getting paid for it, you shouldn't do this. But newsflash, buddy, people get their names out there by doing this sort of stuff. They put art out there, they put their tag on it. If people like it, maybe someone might commission them to do something. Or maybe it's just a hobby and they enjoy doing it. Not everything has to be about money. What a really bad take from this guy. It's such a horrible, horrible, horrible take. He really needs to get a reality check and just sort his shit out, because I don't know, the more I'm seeing these creative pundits online, the more I'm seeing these, you know, supposedly intellectual journalists coming out with these totally art-hearted statements. It does make me wonder how they're even employed within their jobs, or how anyone is actually taking anything they say seriously and allowing them to publish anything they do on their website. Because if I was his boss, after seeing this, I would fire him. I would get rid of him. I wouldn't want anyone like that working for me. But that's just me. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.